Hello and welcome to the Three-Man Weave College Basketball Best Bets Show presented by nobody. We're here. Well, Basket Under Review. Presented by
Yeah.
Basket Under Review. Heck yeah. Let's spin. Happy spinning Saturday to all you out there who celebrate. We're back to talk college basketball gambling. This is what we love to do. There's 93 line games today, fellas, so we can get right into the show after maybe some quick takeaways. Of course, small slates all throughout the week, and then boom, big one Saturday. College basketball owns the weekend. Jim, any takeaways you want to discuss real quick before we get into it?
From Thursday, I was impressed by Iowa, hanging close at Iowa State. We talked a little bit about that on our real pod, so I won't belabor that one. And then last night, UConn not quite able to get away from Texas, which Kai, I think you expected as a Texas writer upper at the Action
Yay.
Network. UConn's still figuring out the extra gear, I think, and they fouled a lot. Once again, 28 free throws for Texas. They're getting healthier. They're figuring out rotations. I still kind of believe in the ceiling, but it's not quite there yet. But hey, they're in the Big East, so they're going to win every game anyways. It doesn't
Mm.
matter. Matthew.
Yeah, Big East, the Big Least. I think I've been on two Big East teams today, so we'll see. UConn's fine. Texas was looking actually decent in that game. They're talented. They should get better. A lot of games today. Again, still pissed off about the imbalance in schedule, Kai. I'll gripe about that every week. It'll be a weekly tradition on this program.
Yeah, I've
Under
been griping
today,
about it for years. Yeah.
five yesterday, whatever. Three main board games.
Two takeaways
Uh
because of this week. I love Iowa State. I love Iowa State. I think they're awesome. Um, Came back against Iowa, and then Mizzou's cooked. Mizzou's done. The Missouri Tigers will not be making the tournament this year. I will call it right now. And if they end up doing it, then good jinx. Okay, let's get into the rundown. I believe the description is in the rundown is in the description to the video. Jim, is that correct? I didn't actually check. I'm sorry for
Yes, it
putting.
is in there. Yes.
Perfect. So
So
if you guys want to look ahead, it's in there. We're going to follow it. We're going to chat mob like we usually do. Answer your questions in the chat. Matt's writing them down. Okay, here we go. Without further ado, we got Arizona and Alabama in Birmingham. Birmingham. It's a heavyweight tilt. It's the 3-point shot, Matt, versus the 2-point shot. It's Arizona's bully ball versus Alabama's finesse and run and gun. Thoughts on this game? Arizona's laying 1.5 in the neutral site game.
Yeah, it does feel like Bama just wins this one. I have no like strong matchup takes on this, Jim. I'll defer to you if you have more profound insight on that. But it just feels like it's one of these games where Alabama just rises and plays like that we know they can, and Arizona just is. Arizona and Nebraska today, two teams that I think are, I think their undefeated streaks come to an end today. So I just think those two teams are bound to lose today. Just gut instinct, no other rationale besides that.
well, poor Nebraska's a 10-point dog. They're not like Arizona, a
Mm,
narrow
true.
favorite going across the country here. Yeah, matchup wise, Arizona definitely prefers a little bit of drop type coverage with their size. They want to induce you into the mid range, and that is the opposite of what Alabama wants to do. Bama does not really get teased into that. Just look back at the Purdue game for evidence. They're still going to get threes up, and I think that's going to be a big part of the strategy. But Arizona just overwhelms you with size, man. The offensive rebounding that Purdue had against Bama, I think, will show up today because I think Arizona's going to be all over the offensive glass. I actually think Arizona gets it done, completes the Iron Bowl sweep on
Mm.
back-to-back Saturdays after destroying Auburn last weekend. I just buy the size, Kai. I think they've got a really good on-ball defender with Jaden Bradley to throw at Filan and at least limit him, make him take tougher shots. And just the injuries on the Alabama side, like I don't know who's going to play, who's in, who's out. Bristow, Holloway, Bull Bowen, all these guys just kind of in and out. Is Bethea going to be ready for this kind of a stage after just getting healthy recently? I just feel more certain in what Arizona is, and I know it's the long travel and definitely a pro Bama crowd, but Arizona's comfortable getting up and down, and I think the physicality will overwhelm.
I do think they'll bully them at the rim. I do think they'll get whatever they want inside Arizona. I do think they have big guards and quick guards and athletic guards like Bradley and Burries to chase Alabama shooters. But for some reason, gun to my head, if I had to lean towards the side here, I'd actually lean towards Bama. I think the 3-point shot, the great equalizer, they could hit 15 threes, win this game. I think it's close. I think it's back and forth. I think it's a really fun game to watch. No wager for me. I think the line is right about where I'd make it. Okay, Kansas at NC State. This line is 3 points in favor of the Wolfpack. I think it opened around there in most places. Darren Peterson, obviously the key. Seems like he's fully healthy. Been a lot of tweets about him warming up. I think it's worth watching still during the game because he did go out of the Mizzou game. He was hurt before. Seems like he's a little bit sensitive about keeping himself healthy, which, hey, you're an NBA prospect. I get it.
If he's not 100% Kai, he's doing a disservice to his
That's
teammates.
what he said. That's what he said,
Yeah,
which is a
paraphrase.
BS thing to say. Jim, NC State just torched Liberty. Is that a get right game or they need to prove it still against a real foe? You're not convinced.
I'm still on the NC State train, and it feels like a bad place to be, but perhaps some of their defensive numbers are tilted by playing the Maui Rims. I mean, that's where they got scorched. Teams were like completely unstoppable against them. A little bit better performance against Auburn when they weren't switching everything. I know they still lost, but the 3-point splits were very unfavorable. And then, man, they looked good defensively against Liberty. The game in between there, at Asheville, they talked about in the Liberty broadcast that Wade ran them through a 2-hour practice the morning of that game and like a really hard one. He's like, I knew we'd play like crap. I don't care. They still got the win there, and then they looked really good against Liberty. It seems like they're sharpening up a little bit. I definitely think Kansas needs a healthy Peterson to kind of set everybody else up in the correct offensive role. But I'm gonna stick with NC State here, Matthias. I know it's 3. That would be my absolute limit of betting. I wrote this single game guide up for Action Network, so if you want more detailed thoughts, go ahead and read that. But yeah, I'm going with the Wolfpack to get a big win in a home Saturday environment. Don't love betting against Bill Self as a dog, but I will
Yeah.
take Wade and the pack.
I did too. I took Wade and Pack. I don't also love, I guess we'll just say every the reason why we're nervous about this, but I love that it's a semi-quick turnaround off a game where they just won by a bajillion points. Darian Williams, I know, has been kind of nursing a sore shoulder. Say that 5 times fast, Kai.
Sore
He
shoulder, sore
should be
shoulder,
fine in
sore
this
shoulder,
game,
sore
but
shoulder.
there was a reason he didn't play much against Asheville. Peterson obviously matters a lot. I actually like the under. I think I like the under almost more in this game. I think this is two really, really good defenses. I'm with Jim on the NC State. I think defensively, they're going to look more and more like the non-LSU Will Wade defenses going forward. And Kansas' size, even without Peterson there, is just crazy, especially up front. So it could be ugly. Maybe the juice crowd gets it up and down, but I think this is a inefficient game offensively both ways.
I was impressed by NC State's defense against Liberty, but also Liberty missed every open shot under the sun, so it's hard to really glean too much. And Kansas is obviously a better team. I think their defense is elite. I think they can shut the water off this game. I think they're among the best ball screen defenses in the country. Very key in NC State's offense. And with Peterson in, they can actually score. Also, Flory Badunga, give me him 10 times out of 10 against Vinal and Lubin inside. I think that's a really big advantage for Kansas. I lean towards the Jayhawks, fellas. Play a little devil's advocate. Didn't bet it, but at +3, it'd be a lean for me on Kansas. I do have a stronger take in this game, though, fellas. In Dallas, Arkansas, Texas Tech. I'm very intrigued by this game. Arkansas has done nothing wrong. Impressive win against Louisville. They hung with Sparty, and they really hung with Duke until the end of the game. Texas Tech Mac gets right after a blowout against LSU. They did get blown out by Purdue. They hung with Illinois. I'm still a believer in Texas Tech. What are your thoughts in this game?
Yeah, market agrees with you on Texas Tech up to -2 now. It flipped both ways. It kind of a little back and forthy. A lot of over money as well here. Not sure I agree with that, but I kind of like Arkansas if it gets to like 3 or 4. Maybe the Texas Tech team keeps pouring in. And the game starts in 50 minutes, so unlikely. I just think Texas Tech blew out a bad LSU team in a good spot when they got healthier. I don't feel like this is this. I'm still a little bit skeptical of this Texas Tech. A little too much reliance on Anderson and Toppin. I know Petty came back and looked good last game. I still think they need to develop like 1 or 2 extra guys off the bench. And I'm still an Arkansas believer. I feel like they need this game. Feels like a good spot for them. Just the way Arkansas's results have aged, Jim, I think we maybe should be taking a more serious look at Pig Suey.
Yeah, perhaps. They were really good against Louisville at home. The Duke and Michigan State performances there's nothing to throw shade at there. I'm going to go with Texas Tech, though. I did not bet it, thought about it, but didn't quite get there. I just think they're starting to get Bamgoy integrated into the lineup. The two big defense, I think, helps them a little bit. And then offensively, at least Lawan Watts is playing competently now. He doesn't look like a stud yet, but man, he's struggled recently. And now he's giving them that kind of like second offensive fulcrum. They can play through him in the mid post, do a little booty ball stuff at times, use him as a passer, takes a little load off Anderson, maybe opens up a little more space for Toppin. I'm buying Texas Tech low here. I know there's the revenge factor from the NCAA tournament and Arkansas blowing that game and losing in overtime. So maybe DJ Wagner and Trevon Brazile and John Calipari have been huddled up thinking about that one for weeks. But Kai, I will go with the Red Raiders. I'll join you and me and against Maddie on Calipari Island.
Yeah, Texas Tech's going to be one of my best bets, fellas. I took -1 in real life. It looks like it has gotten bet a little bit. I'm seeing enough -1.5 out there to make my official bet. -2 is
It's got
there's enough -1.5 out there, Matthew.
your screen's behind, my guy. I'm sorry. It's
Oh, there's a
-2.
couple books here. Okay, I'll take two for if you want to be a
Gotta go
stickler
two.
about it, I'll take
I am
-2.
gonna be a stickler. You won't need it.
-2 then.
Won't need it.
Texas
Won't
Tech.
matter.
Yeah, I think Toppin's way better than Brazil. I think he's going to get whatever or handle whatever Arkansas throws at him. I'm very curious to watch Anderson Acuff. That matchup's going to be awesome. And I like Tech shooting a lot more. I think they have a rebounding edge. Tech -2, best bet for me. Okay, Indiana, Kentucky. Matthew was at the famous Indiana Kentucky game back in the day with Christian Watford when they sucked, but they beat the mighty Kentucky Wildcats. This game feels a little opposite in that Kentucky's the struggling team. Only laying 2.5, 3 at home against Indiana is kind of crazy, but they're 0-4 against real competition. They hung with UNC, maybe a bit with Louisville, but they have not looked good. And Indiana's looked a lot better, Matthew. Who do you like in this game?
Man, typical me, I've in cute fashion kind of leaned toward Kentucky here, but they just really haven't shown anything at all in key situations to trust it. It's mostly rooted in the fact that I'm a little skeptical of IU still. I look at that Penn State game like great. You got 45 from Lamar Wilkinson. It was impressive. I think they've had good matchups in all of their quote unquote big wins, right? K-State, Penn State, Marquette. So while I trust Indiana more, Jim, I certainly don't trust them enough to go on the road in a crazy gotta have it spot. But again, do you trust Kentucky to beat a team who's been in that spot multiple times and hasn't? Until Kentucky gets healthier, until Indiana plays a team that I believe in and can and bury, I'm kind of standing on the sideline for both these teams like the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'm very close to catching the falling knife with Kentucky. I think they're gonna come out and play much better. The North Carolina effort was like pretty good for a while, 30
Should've
minutes,
won. Yeah.
and then they just gagged it away because the offense like just stopped working. And I think we remember that drought more than we remember them controlling the game for 30
Very
minutes
fair. Yep.
against a very good team. And obviously they did not bring a single ounce of fight to Nashville, just rolled over and died against Gonzaga. But Gonzaga's really good. They've done that to a lot of high major opponents. Michigan, the only one that doesn't really qualify there. I think Kentucky wins this. That's a little more gut than like crazy matchup. And obviously the health stuff's still concerning with Diabate. And I don't think Quaintance is back. Lowe's still playing with like a giant shoulder sling on his arm. But there's enough there. In Indiana, I think going on the road and being in this environment, the only problem is if Indiana makes shots early and the Rupp crowd is like,
Yeah,
I
F
hate these
this,
guys.
boo
I
Pope.
can't stand this team. Yeah. So you got to get off to a good start. Perhaps maybe that's a live bet situation, but lean towards Kentucky, Kai.
Indiana's shooting is ridiculous. I think Wilkerson might be the best shooter in the country, and DeVries is not far behind. That scares me. And Kentucky's bigs aren't good enough right now, with JQ not playing to take advantage of Indiana's front line. Like Moreno, who cares?
I am not a Moreno guy.
not gonna
I do not
dominate
like
Indiana at all. And Jalen Lowe being hurt still is huge. He only played 8 minutes last game. I don't think he's back fully to himself. They really need him. Again, spreads come down. I leaned a little towards Indiana. It's hard to trust Kentucky. But if there's any turnaround game out there, Kentucky should be highly motivated to win this game. Like, this is the game. If you lose this game, I think you're going to get a lot of rumblings from the very passionate Wildcat fan base of firing Mark Pope already, which is nuts. Crazy thing to do.
He heard there were some boo birds in Nashville, I think. So
Yeah, there were.
You're right. It sort of reminds me. I'm taking a leap here, but the home crowd can turn against you when things aren't going well, and it can almost like invert the home court. I mean, I think IU saw that at the end of the Woodson era. This is not that bad, obviously, but still, that can.
They're acting like it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Chat Mob, part 1. Here we go. Basket under review, though. We're going to plug it really quick. Link is in the description, basketunderreview.com. That is the group we are part of now. The Discord, we talk basically this show the entire week. Every single week, answer your questions about betting, talk about college basketball outside of betting. A great community of people that constantly are talking ball. It's fantastic. Trilly Donovan has done a great job putting it together. on the actual site, basketunderreview.com, the website. You get a ton of articles. There's shows. It's really a great group and community. Sign up for it, $10 a month. We think it's worth it. If you don't like it, hey, you can always cancel. No big deal. We won't have our feelings hurt.
Don't do
But check it out.
that.
I
Check it
will.
out.
My feelings will be
Basketunderreview.com.
hurt.
Okay, chat mob. Matt, I believe you are the czar. You're rounding them up. Take it away.
We're going to lead with a Zangang question. He has asked me a couple, and he has every right to do so, as generous as he is. Let's go with San Francisco St. Louis.
Ooh.
Kai.
Ooh.
Any thoughts on this one? The Billies laying, I think, double
Boy,
digits. And
12.
man, the Dons
12.
just have not been that good. I know I hyped up Newberry. I feel like they need him, but it's more than just him.
Yeah, Fuchs' game time decision also.
Which is huge because they have very little true size at that 5 spot without him.
I'm thinking that's why you're seeing the line run away a little bit. I backed him against Mississippi State, and that ended up being a good thing. But you're right; they have not looked as good as we thought they'd be. Injuries clearly a big reason why. 12, man, I'm leaning towards San Francisco a little bit, but yeah, why step in front of the train right now? St. Louis looked really good. Lean towards San Francisco if you want an
High
official lean.
pace favorites, Matt. You always talk about.
Exactly. Be careful. Just it'll play to a higher number. Speaking of, I guess this is more of a pace tug of war, Jim. I have a best bet here. I'll tee it up after I hear your thoughts. Not on the outline, confirmed. Cincinnati versus Georgia. One of these semi-away, quasi-neutrals, but not really a neutral. Cincy catching a lot, been off for a while. Healthier, still not healthy.
Yeah, I definitely.
Smaller?
I bet Cincinnati at
Good.
it
So
feels
did I.
gross. I just can't buy that Georgia, who is demolishing Q4s to level up their ratings and demolish Florida State when Florida State couldn't hit a shot and has no size at all. I think that's all set up for Georgia to be really overvalued in the market. And while I am no big fan of Cincinnati, I like this defense in an underdog situation to kind of junk up the game. So, Matt, I'm with you, Bearcats.
Yep, best bet for me. Is there enough 8 out there? I don't want to go below 8. If it's not,
Circa's got 8. Circa's got 8.
If it's not 8, I don't want to best bet it. I do think that's sort of the key
Fanatics
number.
says 8.
Circa's
Okay.
got 8, Matthew.
I'm gonna go 8. If anyone out there has 7.5 and it loses, you're happy to
Go half unit
hate
on
mail
that
me
or
a DM.
something.
I personally got 8, so I feel like there are people out there that got 9. Good for you. Happy, congrats on your CLV trophy. I just think this game's close. Miller talking about getting some. They've actually had time to practice this week. Like Jalen Celestine, a key piece who I think matters a lot. He's like actually starting to look like a real player. Hate going to war with Kirk Krissa and this sort of ragtag rotation, but I'm also not all the way sold that Georgia is this juggernaut. Not quite sold on that.
They shouldn't be 8-point dogs.
I agree.
They just should.
Sorry, off my soapbox to do a best bet. He also asked about Hofstra Syracuse Kai New York battle. Speedy Claxton trying to go toe to toe with Red Autry. Like Q's team, I don't like as a favorite. I kind of lean toward Hofstra here, but
And Hofstra's been really, really good as a dog this year. They're back in a big way after a really disappointing year.
11.
I lean towards Hofstra a little bit.
Yeah,
I think Freeman is still on the fence for Syracuse or out. I think they're kind of holding them out for a while. But
It doesn't feel like this is the game you push him.
I think they're probably just like conference play, whatever. Hofstra is my lean there. Nothing official there.
Jim, Bobby Moe against Toledo, our Rocket Chips, who I think are starting to play a little bit better. Squint closely. Played really good against Oakland. They gave up 98, but still, they can score it. I kind of like the Rocket Chips here. What feels like a weird, not really important, who cares, non-conference game. I think it's 2-1. It's been around pick 'em most of the morning, I believe.
Yeah, I'm blasting off, Matthew. I made Toledo like 2.5, 3-point favorite. Got to go with the number there. Robert Morris had that miracle win against Green Bay, then came back and lost to Milwaukee. Now they go back out of conference against Toledo. I think there's a little bit of letdown and it's just like subconscious excitement for the game. I'll ride with the Rockets and a team I think is like as talented or maybe even slightly more talented.
Kai, St. Thomas versus UNC Asheville. St. Thomas, the Tommies. I think this is at home, correct? I'm just
It's at Asheville. It's at Asheville.
In Asheville. Tommy's going down to Carolina. Any thoughts here? I don't have the line actually. Where
3.5.
I took Asheville 3.5. A little scary because I like the Tommies, but Asheville has been really good this season. I like this team a lot. I'm not super impressed with St. Thomas this year. I think they're getting a little bit better. The Weber State game maybe was a good jumping off point for them, getting back in the groove. But why do they care about this game? This is a weird travel.
It is early start, 1 p.m. tip, local.
I've been impressed by Asheville. They almost beat Miami of Ohio in overtime. Yeah, I took Asheville 3.5.
Jim, what about Marshall Wright State? I feel like this matchup happens every year. It's like one of the longer standing non-con things. I like Marshall at 4. I know Wright State's playing better, but I lean toward the herd. What say you?
Yeah, I haven't gotten Marshall right much this year, both side or total. So that has me very hesitant on this game. Wright State's got to look ahead to undefeated Miami of Ohio. So don't
Ah,
discount that spot. But I don't actually think that matters very much. I would lean towards Marshall. I think it's a pretty good home court, not counting the like really bad home effort they had. Who was it against recently that they just got absolutely smacked? Lipscomb just absolutely destroyed them at home.
oh yeah.
But I would still lean towards Marshall there. They've got a little Van Coleman size in the paint takes away the bucket for Wright State.
They
I
are
think that
very long.
matters.
I know. I've been a little too stubbornly bullish on Marshall. They basically had UNC Wilmington beat at Trask and then choked away that game because of Corny's dumb tech or whatever the hell happened. Kai, UC Santa Barbara,
Mm.
Utah Valley. This game is at the Delta Center in Salt Lake. Again, one of these not so neutral neutrals, Utah Valley back
Yeah,
home. I lean toward the Wolverines, who have been just very good this season. UC Santa Barbara can't guard anything.
very good. I faded them a little too much successfully with Idaho State. So shout out the Bengals. I freaking love that team.
Yeah, Looney's good. Looney's knows what he's doing.
I gave enough home here, Matt, so I didn't have to bet Babs because I didn't want to do it. So 5.5 seems a little bit too much for me. I would stay fully away.
Jim, any Marist Bryant take? John Dunn against Jamie and Kristen. I don't know what to make of this Bryant team. They are huge and they are young. Jamie and Christian's
Yeah,
basically leaning into like the we see your positional length and we raise you. I think they're like the tallest team in the country per
Top
metrics.
five. Yeah.
Top five. Under
yeah,
feels right here.
made this side the line on the side squarely what it is. My numbers pointed me towards the overmet, and I puked in my mouth and did not bet
Okay.
it. So I said, because yeah, I think
It opened
uh,
125. Those don't exist anymore. Those totals aren't real numbers. Okay, I
yeah,
get
but
it.
yeah, like that's kind of what Bryant is. They don't really have guards to create shots, and then they're playing a team that wants to crawl. So I couldn't, in good conscience, bet the over, but that's at least where I was pushed to by numbers I use.
I do think Marist is pretty good. All right, last one here, Kai. Arizona State, Santa Clara. This is not on the outline, right? This is a good game, but not
Good game.
outline worthy. Evidence of the quality of the slate today. Rematch of last year they played. Everyone and their mother bet on Santa Clara. Arizona State won. Is there a little flip
Is that
floppy
right?
this year?
I'm pretty sure I was one of those people that bet on Santa
Yeah, I was a
Clara.
sheep too.
I have been a little impressed by Arizona State. They're not as bad as I thought they would be this season. I don't want to crown them. No one's crowning them.
Don't crown my ass.
I lean
Santa Clara
towards,
-2. Sorry, it's
yeah, that's what I made it. So I don't have a bet in this game, but I'd lean towards Santa Clara if anything.
Ensminger. How do you
Insminger?
say it?
Insminger.
Yeah,
Is
You
he back?
nailed it.
I think he's.
Insminger.
I think he's out. He seems to matter. Sendek was pretty pissed after the New Mexico game. He's usually pretty like stoic, but he was not happy. They did not play well. All
I
right,
sort of
back
like
to the
ASU. I
outline.
hate that. I hate that I like ASU, Matthew, but
Ooh,
They're,
Jim
I
likes
mean,
ASU.
I just think they've been really good. I mean, I
Scrappy.
owed them.
all right,
It's a team
back to
this
the
year.
outline.
It's a team.
All right, back to the outline reminder. It's in the description if you want to look ahead to see what other games on the outline. We will hit the rest of the chat mob questions after we do these next four games, and then we'll get to our best bets, of course. Nebraska at Illinois. Wow. To see Nebraska catching 10 points after blowing 11 points now in some places, after blowing out Wisconsin by 30 is a little shocking, but it is their true road game, or first true road game of the season, Jim. Illinois is a tough environment. Been there a couple times. Ironically, they lost one of those games, so maybe it's not so tough. The Illini are also just really, really good with Tomey back in full swing. Who do you like in this game?
I like watching this game because there will be no free throws. It will be a great flow. Neither team fouls at all. And so I think that's going to keep it going back and forth. Maybe we get the classic two TV timeouts because we just played 4 straight minutes of basketball and get the
Hate it.
overlap there. Yeah, I think Nebraska on the road's a little bit of a different kind of team. Like when Pinnacle Bank gets behind them, it's pretty terrifying. I think they could hang around here, but it's really just comes down to it being a shooting contest. That's a lot of what Nebraska games are, and I trust them in shooting contests at home. I don't really trust them the same way on the road. I think Illinois creates a lot of good shots. Tomey is starting to play even better.
Yeah.
So it feels a little high to me, Matthew, but I'm not willing to take Nebraska in the spot.
I kind of want to get cute. If I'm not betting this officially, Trent, I really want to bet Illinois here. I can't lay 10 with a young team, especially when I watched the Texas Tech game flow is burned into my brain where they were up. and then kind of gave a big run. The Cows made good adjustments at half. The older veteran team made the road run. I think Nebraska will punch back after Illinois comes out, jumps all over them because it's just hard to see Nebraska coming out with the same sort of urgency that Illinois is going to have given the spot and off of that incredible win. Again, purely anecdotal, no evidence behind that, just kind of how I feel this game flow plays out. If you like Illinois, I would take first half. I can't lay 10 though. I'm with you. I agree.
I'm also scared. I think having the Visich twins, that's a pretty good, or bros, a pretty good counter to Rink
Twins?
Mast. Twins, excuse me.
Yeah.
Pretty good counter to Rink Mast. And if you take Rink Mast away or limit him, how does Nebraska score? I'm not really sure. On the other end, Illinois' offense, top five, by the way, right now in Ken Pom. So many weapons. Merkovich has been a freaking stud. Stalkovich is having a career year. 10 feels like way too much, but I hesitate to take it, so I will not be taking it. SMU and SMU and LSU in New Orleans, Smoothie King Center, I believe, or the Pelicans play. This game's around pick right now. Jim, I don't think LSU is any good, and I think they proved that by going to overtime with freaking Boston College and getting the doors blown off them by Texas Tech. I think SMU is a better team. I think there's no home here. And yeah, I took a little bit of SMU pick against the Paper Tigers.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right move. I just believe in SMU a little bit more. LSU, as you said, is starting to fall back to where we sort of expected them to be. Jalen Reed being out for the year, I think really does matter. He's good, and they had a lot of front court depth with him. The athleticism in the backcourt is not overly strong. Thomas is kind of shifty, but not big or long. And then McKinnon is not an athlete at all. I think SMU's speed in the backcourt will show up here. Jean Pierre, Boopy Miller, I think will get in the lane relatively at will. I wish SMU was getting more out of my guy Sam Walters. I know he's hurt. Like I thought he was going to be a key piece for them. So they have no depth, Matthew. Their freshmen have been so it's their five guys and they're kind of marching them out there and hoping for the best. But I don't think LSU is the type of team that's going to really overwhelm them despite having more depth. So I also lean SMU here on a slight pick spread.
Yeah, I'm curious how Toombs was the freshman. I like the freshman class. They need them for depth. So Enfield's going to have to open up and let them play. I know there's been a couple injuries there, but I actually like LSU here a little bit. And it's the last time I'm going to say it all season. I promise. I solemnly swear. I just think they win this game. I think they run out. I think SMU runs out of gas, and it feels like more of a desperate spot for LSU. If they can't win this game, your season is cooked. And I don't think I just think you have to win this type of game to make this season somewhat a legitimate quest for a tournament berth if you're Matt McMahon.
Yeah. If they lose this game, their best
There's no
non-conference win is
opportunities.
at Boston College. That's your best
In
non-conference.
overtime.
Yeah.
They should have lost.
Is that on the team sheet, by the way? Is the like overtime? It's not.
Should have
margin?
lost. Should have lost. Is that on the team sheet?
Yeah,
College football playoff. That's the eye test. I guess matters. You get cool touchdowns on fourth down. Counts.
Oh, can I quick tangent? Did you guys see the clip? I think it was Evan Mia tweeted about it. So I forget who initially tweeted it. It was like
the analytics. We should have talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, Syracuse and St. Joe's, the like railing against analytics and like bring back the eye test. The eye
These
test
guys look good.
Yeah, it's like okay, maybe they're playing a team that's not very good.
Gosh.
That was all time. If people haven't seen it, I would suggest finding it. It's like a minute plus.
Hey, I agree with the
announcers
broadcast
just
though.
railing
St. Joe's eye test does look good. I agree with that, and that should matter in the process. That should matter.
That was the worst. That was horrible. Who were those guys? I need their names.
Who was the Cuse? I thought it was Lenardi.
No, the announcers.
The announcers.
It was not Lenardi.
No, sorry. Lenardi's the St. Joe's home guy. It was the Cuse or the ESPN.
It was
play,
ACC guys.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Hope it wasn't Devendorf.
I took SMU pick. Matt leans LSU. There you go.
Don't bet
okay.
LSU.
Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma City, a true Oklahoma game. Biggest test of the year, in my opinion, for Oklahoma State. And they've passed all their tests so far with flying colors. And Oklahoma, Matt, coming off a 16-point loss to Arizona State, that was very uninspiring. I know you were on the Sooners in that game, but they did blow out Wake at Wake. Can Oklahoma keep Oklahoma State out of transition? They've done well at stopping it and stopping it, first of all, from happening and stopping it from scoring the entire year. They've done it very well. What do you think in this game?
I like the Sooners. I'll make it a best bet. I just don't like a lot today, so I feel like my bar for best bet's low. But I think this. I know Victorious Miller's back. You mentioned that. Sorry, I blacked out during your intro, but I think that matters. Or someone say he is their best player. I would argue they're just really deep, and no one player means a ton to Oklahoma State. 9-0. The results have aged okay, but like Northwestern, I mean, they're not very good. South Florida, that was at that was in a really good spot. South Florida was on, I think, the third leg of a pretty uh, strenuous trip. Grand Canyon, I don't think's that good. So I think I'm just looking to take a step back. Oklahoma State, and yes, they're undefeated. I still think Oklahoma's a better team, and I like the spot for OU coming off the loss. So I just kind of kept it simple. I'm laying 2.5.
Yeah, I'm surprised the line's where it is, with Oklahoma State being undefeated and rated better in Ken Palm. It is, I think people kind of going back to a little bit of preseason expectation with these two. I also like Oklahoma. I'm not going to lay 2.5. Like two would have been my absolute cutoff, and I didn't even bet it myself at a lower number. So not a lot of like conviction behind it. But man, in my head, Oklahoma's defense is the problem, and it's outside the top 100, but they're barely outside the top 50 in 2-point percentage defense. They've just been getting roasted
Yeah.
from beyond the arc, and that's not really Oklahoma State's game. They don't take many threes. They don't make many threes. I don't think they're built to take advantage of like what's actually been ailing Oklahoma, and I think you can get downhill off the dribble, and that's a little concerning. But Oklahoma's got enough offensive punch, and it's not like they're going against a jitterbug, super speedy backcourt like they were against Arizona State. I guess Clary's kind of like that, but I
Eh,
definitely lean towards Oklahoma here, Kai. I think this is Matt was talking about his hunches with undefeated teams losing at the top of the show. I think we see Oklahoma State drop one as well.
They've been going to Fala up front. Like he's been a beast,
he's
man.
very
He's
good.
really good.
I think
Like
he's a little bit of an issue for OU actually. Even though
could be.
Wagi can block shots, they haven't been great at the rim. OU's offense is better though. They have better guards. Tay Davis has been ridiculous too. As kind of a hybrid wing there. Fun matchup.
Kai, Wagi foul trouble lock.
Yeah, lock.
We don't use
Oh, that's
lock
gonna.
on this show, but that one's a lock.
I lean towards
Street.
OU as well. I did not bet OU again. Jim, yeah, I was hoping to get kind of a better price, but yeah, didn't happen. Okay, last game in the rundown. Then we're going to hit chat mob questions part two, and then best bets, and then we'll send you on your way. We're going on a bar crawl today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Are we?
Okay,
Where are you guys ending up
yeah.
at, by the way? You guys should come up
Don't
here and
Hey,
crash some
Matt,
birthday
you should
party.
come to the bar crawl. Oh, you're having a
We're
birthday
hosting.
party.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
didn't miss
Well,
the invite for that.
yeah, missed the
Yeah.
invite for that, Matthew. Yeah. Huh. Huh.
In-laws only, family
Huh.
only. You're not in the
Huh.
circle.
Huh. Well, the 1 year old will
deserve
remember
to
the
be
birthday
there.
party at least. That'll be fun. Okay,
Next weekend will be the
UCLA,
broader
Gonzaga
party.
in Seattle. Uh, I've been disappointed a little bit in UCLA so far. But to be fair, the game they dropped against Cal, they were missing Bilodeau and they have no depth. I'm giving them a slight pass for that. But this spread is big, Matthew, but the Zags scare me. They beat Oklahoma by 15, Creighton by 27, ASU by 12, Bama by 10, Maryland by 39, Kentucky by 35. That scares me. I didn't take UCLA. My number said, hey, you should probably bet UCLA in this situation. They're getting doubles against Gonzaga. No thanks. Too much size, better size, and I think they can stick with Bilodeau on the perimeter too. So full stay away from me in this game. But what do you think?
Again, this is one where you have to treat the number as a bigger number. Just for context, non-conference neutral site game so far, favorites over 4.5. So like true favorites right now, like the 4-1 range, or 31-18 against the spread. I think covering by 2.5 points. It leaned that same trend the last two seasons. Point being, I think you kind of have to your number that you look at that, you have to just treat it differently, right? So if you're adjusting for that, do you then still like the big number? And I don't. I think Gonzaga is a sound of where my gut instinct leads. I think this could be a runaway. Again, if it's up and down too, we'll see what the pace looks like. I do think Mick Cronin is very good about playing slow when he knows it's at his best in his best interest. I think today he does know that. Assuming Donovan Dent can, imply the same logic, then I think maybe they have a chance. But again, I'm not going against that. I just feel like that's been an area I've been burned on betting, so I'm not going against that steam.
Yeah, Cronin as a dog typically strikes me well because of that. They slow you down. They're really good transition defense. They're bottom 10 in defensive possession like this year. I think they do force you to execute a little bit, but that's fine with Gonzaga. Like I know they're awesome in transition, but they're going to get into some of that high-low stuff with Huff and with EK. I think they're going to overwhelm Bilodeau and Booker, or Bilodeau and Jamerson inside. I think they get a lot of points there. This is another do you care about it? I do a little bit with revenge because last year Gonzaga lost a really close one in LA.
Yeah, that's right.
And kind of botched it late. I remember tweeting angrily about Mark Few's coaching execution. So I think if it's 7, they'll be happy to try to get it to 12. If it's 12, they'll be happy to try to get it to 15 or 20. And I gave them a little bit of home court advantage here with it being in Seattle. So I lean much more towards almost betting Gonzaga, even at a high number. I don't think it sets up well situationally or matchup wise for UCLA.
All right, very good. Chat Mob Part 2 is where we're gonna go next. Basketunderreview.com is where you should join if you want conversations with us all throughout the week in text form, as well as fantastic articles and shows from very talented college basketball writers and guys who know ball. Basketunderreview.com. It's $10 a month subscription. Cancel anytime you want. Join the fun. College basketball. Get into the full swing. It's almost conference play. Okay, Matthew. Chat Mod Part 2. What do you got?
I lost the user question or IDs with the questions. So I'm sorry. I feel like I should be crediting the users and acknowledging them by their true identity. And I apologize. I will be better about that next time. But
Matt,
a very go
can I
ahead, Jim.
jump in on one? I don't know if
Yeah.
you missed it early, but my guy 712 winners asked about the
Yep.
Mercyhurst under. Well, he's only got to find 711 more winners because that's one of them. I'm going to go with a best bet there under
Good.
133 and a
Take it.
half. Mercyhurst Davidson, Mercyhurst, the slowest possession length in the entire country. I think that game is a crawl. They're at least competent defensively. So I just wanted to, in case you had missed it,
No, good
Matt, I wanted to
call.
highlight it
Always
and give
insert
the
what
best bet
number?
there. 133.5.
I like the logic. I hate going unders against my guy Bernie Blunt. You can light it up from deep. Kai, here's
Yes.
a team that probably will make you smile. Marquette. They're playing
Uh,
Purdue today, and they're getting a lot of points because they haven't
yep.
played a single good game all year except for when they blew out Little Rock, who has 4.5 players. Um, Shaka as a dog, though.
Yeah.
Shaka as a dog.
I made it 18. So, no.
Good for you. Okay,
No
there you
thanks.
go.
Yeah.
Matt, I was just looking up.
Pass Kai would bet it. Pass Kai would bet it. This is a new
I
guy.
was just looking up to see Shaka as a dog. He's 0-2-1 as a dog this year, not
This
covering by an
year.
average of 10 a game.
Yeah.
So his team doesn't have the same luster in that angle.
Like getting killed by Wisconsin was really troubling.
Yeah.
They're going to get back today, right? Marquette. I think I'm sorry. I'm glossing over injuries, which I feel like has actually hurt me more this season. I'm trying to be better about that. Um, again, okay. Pat, next game, a huge one. Miami, Florida, Jim playing against your Warhawks of Monroe. Poor Monroe, man. 36 is the number. Any take on the main board? 36.
I think Miami has been very good about second half just laying on the
Yes.
gas against bad
Southern Miss.
teams. Bethune-Cookman, Stetson, Jacksonville. Like
Cookman.
I was against them early a few times, and it didn't matter what it started. It didn't matter what it was 25 minutes into the game. They just smashed teams, and Monroe is terrible, and I could see this pretty easily being 105-55.
Yeah, I think if you're a Monroe backer, you're gonna regret that by 30 minutes.
Clinging to life with
Yeah.
10 minutes left in the game.
Got a lot of big spreads and again, main board semi-important matchups. Conference game, Michigan laying 17 and a half. Kai,
Mhm.
wink wink.
Wink, wink.
Is 17 and a half still? Sorry, I'm gonna check the number. It's been moving a little
It's
bit though.
18 and a half, 17 and a half, 18
It's
out there.
17 and a half now. Do you have an opinion or a bet on said game?
I took Maryland
College
plus
Park.
20, and I'll
Is that
probably
20?
regret it. I took them 20. Yeah, they're at 20 at one point. They're at home. It's 20 points. I know Michigan's won 6 straight games by 25. They look unstoppable. And Maryland's not very good. And I've said it a million times how bad Maryland is this season. 20 points at home in a conference game. I had to take it. I took the cheese. Honestly, I'm not sure I'd bet 17 and a half. I probably should, but I was like, okay, I'm taking 20. I guess a slightly into the terps of that number. Michigan's scary.
Yeah, I took a worse number with Rutgers against Purdue and just like that was dumb. I didn't need to do that. New Mexico State Gem. I think three different people asked about this. They're playing Tulsa, who's been terrific. Hooten, been good. Then they got blasted twice in a row. Tough spot. Little bounce back. Neutral. I think this is at Frisco, the Frisco Disco, I think.
Yeah, not in the actual
The
converted airplane hangar that they
yeah.
played the conference tournament in for a while. Yeah, lean to the dog and almost put
It's
the
up to
under as one of my
5.
five. Okay, love it. I 4.5 would have taken there. Definitely think New Mexico State has the athleticism, the scoring to hang around. I like the under. I almost used that as one of my 5 best bets in the Trilly Donovan burner graphic. So I really considered it. So that tells you how much I like it. Not going to best bet it for the show either, but I think that game slows down a little bit. Mexico State can dictate kind of pace and turn it into a little more of a physical war, whereas Tulsa just kind of wants to run this year.
Um, Kai, sorry, I forgot the update number. Creighton, K-State.
Mm. Yeah,
Creighton laying 4.
I'm on the Jays at 3.5. I just I don't like Kansas State. This comes down to coaching. Actually, at the end of the day, I wrote this game up for Action Network. It comes down to coaching. I think Greg McDermott's a much better coach than Jerome Tang. I think Owen Freeman is going to have his way with Doran Buka, the funniest man in college basketball, as well as McGriff, who's a little undersized. And I just think Creighton gets it done. Yeah, minus
Just
three
don't
and a
think
half.
Freeman
I,
has it right now. Just has no juice.
I
Bums
really
me out.
wouldn't lay 4.5. I know it's some places out there. I think 3.5 is kind of my peak on that one. Just FYI.
I don't know if Hudson Greer's back for Creighton, but he like was really good in Vegas after McAndrew got hurt and they pulled his red shirt. I hope he plays for them because he's good. I like him.
I parlayed Creighton with Butler. How about that? Butler, by the way, Jalen Jackson out again. I think he's done for the year, but if we don't get to that game, I'm not saying that asked about, but hosting
Interesting.
Providence.
Do you have a
Just
money
saw a
line
tweet
parlay,
that
Matthew?
Greer is out today.
Yes,
Huh.
Well,
New Matthew.
and I'm a square now. Parlays free. That bet's free, by the way. Uh, Kai,
oh
how
no, hey,
about?
no Bamgoy for Texas Tech, FYI.
Ooh,
Concussion
man, that's
protocol.
tough. Tech's got no bodies.
Yeah, against that Arkansas front line, that scares me.
Kai, you're welcome to read to. No,
No,
we can't because people probably bet.
I'm gonna F and keep it.
Yeah, you bet it. Your followers have betted. I'm sorry. That's part of
I
betting.
think
Welcome to the wall.
I gotta
Welcome to the
stop
wall.
taking 11 a.m. tip-off games. I think I'm like 25% lifetime, 11 a.m. Saturday tips.
Yeah, I agree.
Otherwise, pretty good, but just those games.
Speaking of, so I'll be a hypocrite here. How about Wichita, 11 a.m. start, hosting DePaul, aka Demon Doo Gym. They're just not very good. I like Wichita. This is a keep it simple, stupid handicap for me. 7's the
Yeah,
number.
this reminds me of when Wichita played Loyola, and I was like, oh, I don't know, that number, that's too many points for Wichita. And then Wichita wins by 20 because Loyola is terrible. And that's how I feel about DePaul right now. I haven't fully adjusted my rating, I guess, to reflect how putrid I think they are. 4 points against Pine Bluff. They were down by 30 in 5 minutes against LSU. Like the team's bad. If you've got athleticism or size, you can dictate everything against them. So, yeah, I lean Wichita.
They also have Benson's banged up. He's supposed to play, and
He's like
then
his like wrist is falling off and he's playing.
Macklin I think might come back today. But yeah, they've been hurt and they don't have any margin for error. Same, it's very similar to last season. They got banged up and just kind of went in the tailspin. Lost my spot here. Rutgers Seton Hall, Kai. Fun rivalry. We'll see how ugly this game is. Presumably really ugly.
Mhm.
11 points. I like Rutgers. Seton Hall covering margin against maybe Rutgers isn't good, so I don't want to say that, but I don't know.
Yeah, Seton Hall's look really good this year. I didn't take it. I made it pretty close to what it is, but I agree. Normally, I'd be like, yeah, Rutgers double digits against Seton Hall. I would lean their way.
Hey, it's got to be nice for Rutgers to be playing Seton Hall instead of Purdue and Michigan.
That's
Yeah,
I think it's just like a great
yeah,
spot. Like we can exhale and
That's a
play a team
huge
that's
rivalry game. Like they're gonna be into it.
yeah.
yeah. I might bet that, Jim. I agree. I like Rutgers there. Valpo is hosting UNC Wilmington, who is quietly what a 10-1 now. Their only loss was.
They're always so good.
I guess what I like Valpo. Maybe it's too short. I think Valpo's kind of decent. They got some size this year, Mr. McKeon, plus 4.5. That does feel low for a game. I don't know how many people will be at the big Valpo UNC dub tilt today at 2 p.m., but we'll see. I like Valpo just on a
I
kind of
took the under in this game.
okay.
It's too low now.
134 now. Well, you are
It's
sharp.
too low. Yeah, too low. I got a little higher. I think it's gonna be a crawl though, and like 60 possessions. Really, really
Heavy post
really
game.
slow game. Yeah.
Walk or Kessler and then Valpo's bigs. I think it's I
Yeah.
agree. And I missed two in the chat that came through late. Let me find them real quick. St. John's.
St.
They
John's
are
Iona.
playing Iona.
Yeah.
Big number at the Garden. Fun game. Rick Pitino. I guess I say, does Iona exact revenge against their former coach? Not a lot of a lot of lost love, I should say, with that.
This
breakup.
is Matt. This is like textbook pace favorite. Like I
Yeah.
think John's. It's going to be approaching 80 possessions, I think, and that's just going to end up like St. John's will press until the final 5 minutes of this game, force turnovers. I think this ends up getting ugly, even if it's not early. I think it ends up that way.
I agree.
Do you guys know that Iona's CJ Anthony is like second in the country in game MVPs, and
He
he was a
rocks.
walk-on at Cincinnati?
Iona's offense is really good. I don't think they guard anybody, but
Wes
they
Miller
can
couldn't use
score.
him. He couldn't use him, Jim.
Couldn't find him out, couldn't find any use for him because Jizzle James had to shoot mid-range pull-ups.
Yeah.
Why is this total under 160?
That's a good question.
The garden people like back in the garden unders. Is that still a thing? People that might used to be a
I
thing.
really think if you look across the board today, people in the initial move was overs on all these NBA arena games, and now they're coming back. People are hammering the unders. I think it's
Yeah, I
I think it's as simple as that, to be honest.
They're
I like the
NBA
over
arena. It's
there
not like it's like
personally.
a
I agree.
makeshift aircraft carrier. Like
I would
professional
certainly
basketball
lean towards
players
the
play
over in
there.
that game. Yes, I would lean
Yep,
towards the over.
yep.
I guess big backdrops, whatever. Okay, that's all we got for the mob. I'm just make sure I got my best bets. I gave out two. Kai got you on the hook for Texas Tech. Sorry, you're fine. I think we'll get it done. Jim has
Thanks, Matt.
one total.
One
I
so
have
far.
Cincy plus
Let's
eight and Oklahoma plus two or minus two.
let's recap them and
Yep.
send
Any
people on the way.
additions?
I'm going to add one because I didn't have a bet yesterday, and I promised I would have two today. I'm going George Washington against Florida. I'm going George Washington plus 14. I think they're
Sorry.
talented enough.
Pardon my groan.
Yeah, I know. You bet them against Delaware. I think they hang
Lose.
around. They're more than talented enough. They have a ton of veteran experience. I'm hoping they're a little pissed off about losing to Delaware. And they have size. Castro is going to be certainly challenged, but I don't think he's a pushover. They're also the better shooting team than Florida. And Florida's guards are really erratic. So I think they can stick within 14. And Texas Tech minus two, I suppose I said earlier. Like it a little less with Bamgoy out of the lineup, but I still think they can win this game. Jim, I'll toss it to you.
All right, I'm going to add three more unders to the Mercyhurst Davidson 133.5. Let me double check on numbers right now. But Northern Kentucky Bellarmine, what it takes at 146 right now. I think that is an absolute crawl. I submitted it to Trilly at 149. That was like an hour ago. That's where it was, hour and a half. It is continuing to tick down. I'm still going to ride with it. I think that game is slow. The NKU zone mystifies
Zone be zone,
Bellarmine,
right?
who is, yeah. So you just get a lot of long possessions there. The Citadel and South Carolina under, let's see, it was 141. It is now also 141. I just don't know how the Citadel scores, and I don't think either team is really going to speed up pace. So even if that game is like 80 to 50, I'm okay with that. And then finally, back to the extra board, Boston U and Dartmouth. Maddie, your dartboard boys, under 146 and a half. BU's kind of missing some firepower. Kyron Alexander, I think, is still out, and he had a big summer with the not Bahamas. I forget where he's from, but he had a really good international summer. But without him, another slower game. Two teams that I think have to be execution based, not a lot of transition. I will take the under 146 and a half. So that is my four pack for this big Saturday.
Cincy plus eight, OU minus two, 2.5. I think I wrote down 2.5, but it is
I
Yeah,
think it's
I
two
think
and a
it was
half
two and a
now.
half.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
Good. I'm holding 2.5. So join me.
Fantastic. Way to be honest.
That's all
Any
we
more?
have. I feel like I had one more best bet, but um, eh, you know,
Hey, how do you
I'm gonna
guys feel
keep it at
about
two.
Mississippi State being favored potentially without Josh Hubbard when that team is booty cheeks?
I
I
think
was,
they might.
I was
I
kind
don't
of
know. Do you think
hoping.
Utah's any good?
No, I don't.
I really wanted to take Utah, Jim, but I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't do it.
Okay.
I think they're going
Yep,
to be
I
really
didn't
bad
either.
without Hubbard. But yeah,
Yep.
I don't think Utah's any good, like Matt said. Okay, thank you for joining us on our Best Bet show. We're back next week. Podcast likely Friday. Best Bet show Saturday, I believe, unless the slate's like 5 games. I have not looked ahead.
Oh
We
no,
will
it's a
keep
good. I think it's a good Saturday
good
slate next
slate.
week.
Fantastic. Okay, we'll keep you updated at 3MW_CBB. Join Basket under review. Good luck with your bets today. Have fun out there. We will. We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Haha, I'm responsible for ending the stream, so folks get to see me struggle to find the right button.
Oh, they're still watching. Bonus picks for
No,
those
it's
still
gone now.
Is it
It
done?
should be. Yeah, it should be finished.